Marvelous hello, friends and loved ones. How are you today? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it has been a pretty crazy couple of months for me, and so I've decided I need to take a vacation. Except, I don't have any money. But luckily for me, there is no shortage of video games licensed after popular vacation spots. So today, I'm gonna be diving into SeaWorld Adventure Park's Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures. I'm not good with intro. Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures was released in 2005 for the GameCube, Xbox, PS2, Game Boy Advance, and Nintendo DS. I'll be playing the GameCube version today because, let's be honest, does it actually matter which console I play this on? Before I get started on the game itself, I'd like to point out a blurb on the back of the box that caught my attention. Battle the evil Kraken and Poseidon the Sea God. I'm sorry, I was under the impression that I was playing Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures, not God of War. More like God of War, Kawale. Nailed it. The game opens with Shamu chilling out after work with his manatee buddy Horatio, who spends, no joke, 6 minutes, seriously 6 minutes, explaining every major mechanic in the game, and then once you have control to try these mechanics out, will stop you at each one to remind you what they do. We are not off to a great start here.
This is what is known as a Kraken crystal. Everywhere the dreaded Kraken travels, he leaves these crystals behind. They are his ink, which forms into a solid crystal once it stays in the water too long.
You're touching them!
As soon as we complete the tutorial, the Kraken bursts through the walls. Heck yeah! Now that's how you start a deep sea adventure, with an epic boss fight! Oh. No, we're not fighting it. Now that actually is how you start a deep sea adventure, with a mediocre at best running away segment. The premise of the game is that Poseidon wants to resurrect the sunken city of Atlantis in the exact spot where SeaWorld is. So, good news, underwater scientists. Atlantis is apparently located somewhere underneath Orlando, Florida. This wouldn't be so bad, except Poseidon plans to make all the animals in the park into his slaves. And that would be just awful. We can't have the animals of SeaWorld be made into slaves. You ain't fooling me, Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures. I know your game. I've seen Blackfish. Actually, I haven't. I heard it was super depressing, and you guys know how much depressing stuff depresses me. Oh, and Horatio got captured. We should probably save him. Most of the game is you exploring these Echo the Dolphin type stages, with lots of winding paths and things to explore. Solve a few puzzles, and by a few puzzles I mean different takes on the same puzzle over and over and over again, and you eventually rescue Horatio. Now let's chase the Kraken back to his evil oh shit, sauce. Let's run away again! This is pretty much the entire game. The big sprawling underwater levels where you have to collect crystals and do various objectives, and then levels where you're either chasing something or being chased. The worst part about the latter two levels is you still have to collect the crystals, so if you complete your objective without getting enough, you have to do it again. The back of the box boasts that Shamu can bravely duel thousands of dangerous sea creatures, and to the game's credit, they might be right. This game has a lot of enemies, and many of them are in the same place at the same time. Everything in this game wants to kill you. Fish, sea mines, different fish, more different fish, tiny crabs, and angry grass.
Get some food.
I'm sorry, what?
Get some food.
Yeah, okay.
20 minutes later.
I'm not sure how this was supposed to help. There are a couple of boss fights in this game, but none of them are particularly impressive or interesting. You find the boss, the game tells you which of Shamu's otherwise useless skills you need to do in order to beat it, and then stuff happens. I have no idea what's going on here. but I'm winning. If it seems like I'm just jumping around throughout the plot of the game, it's because I honestly think I might be. Nothing in this game feels like there's a genuine sense of progression. Each level opens up with one of these Comic Sans text comic book cutscenes, and then you go do a thing, and I genuinely couldn't tell you the difference between level 1 and level 8. And so, rather than my usual method of going through the game beat by beat, I'm just going to do a small montage of things I thought were particularly funny and or stupid.
In a moment of distraction, one of the Vipers steals Shamu's keys. They escape with the keys through the door.
Well, they just sound like a real bunch of jerks, don't they? This level has an octopus boss that you have to beat by sneezing ice at him. Take that. And Horatio got kidnapped again. Why does this keep happening? Even Princess Peach usually only gets kidnapped once per game. Aside from Horatio, the only allies Shamu seems to have are these little crab dudes who just hang out holding signs pointing towards various things to help you get around. They might actually be my favorite thing in this entire game because, I mean, just look at them. Look at their expressions. They're showing about as much enthusiasm as I probably would in this situation. Okay, I can't take this anymore. Let's just end this. You get into Atlantis and destroy these 3 machines that are lifting it up to the surface, and then you have an epic final battle against the Kraken, and by epic, I mean you slap his red suction cups with your tail while constantly dealing with this.
Poison!
Which slows you down to a crawl and prevents you from attacking for a few seconds. It's really annoying.
Poison! Poison!
Kraken's dead, Poseidon shows up, and he actually looks pretty cool. I'll give him that. The final boss fight is nothing special, though. You just do whichever one of Shamu's weird combo moves the game tells you to use until he dies. So now that Poseidon has been defeated, the day is saved, right? Wrong! Shamu still has one final challenge, one final hurdle to overcome, for you see, in a truly surprising twist of Shamu's deep-sea adventures, the final boss of this game is SeaWorld itself. That's right, folks, Shamu must now dance for these empty bleachers and score 500 points within 5 minutes. And it's bad. Seriously, it's so bad. For as meh as the rest of this game was, this final segment is so agonizingly boring and repetitive that it makes the final Kraken fight seem compelling.
Poison!
Once the show is over, the final cutscene plays where— What? The Kraken is back? Quick! Arm Shamu with laser cannons and— Oh wait, it's just a chunk of Atlantis that floated up to the surface. And SeaWorld can now exploit it and use it as an attraction to earn even more money. Hooray for capitalism! SeaWorld Adventure Park Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures is not good. The gameplay is bad, the controls are bad, the story is bad, and it's actually really short. I beat the entire game in about 3 hours, but it felt so much longer than that, and not in the good way. The music is okay, and the visuals are alright, but just, look, do yourself a favor and don't play this game. I don't even know why I played this game. I'm not good with outro.